Backstage news on what may convince WWE to bring CM Punk back to the company, as Punk is very active on social media today, posting cryptic tweets that could suggest he could make a return to both WWE and AEW. Details on that. Plus, WWE believes that NXT will regularly outdraw AEW Dynamite once they move to the CW network next year in October. Vince McMahon declines to comment on the allegations made against him that led to his initial retirement from WWE last year. An update on the plans for Mariah May in All Elite Wrestling and how they will involve Toni Storm, and WWE reportedly makes an offer to Julia. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off, as always, talking about CM Punk, because he's been very active today on social media with a lot of stories surrounding his pro wrestling future. Now, we're just a few weeks away from WWE Survivor Series being hosted in Chicago, and as it stands, it doesn't look like CM Punk will be making his long-awaited return at the event. Now, Nick Hausman of House of Wrestling has previously been able to independently verify that there are currently no plans for CM Punk at the Premium Live events, though it was recently reported that he is physically ready to make a return at any moment of time, an opportunity that WWE is said to feel they can pull a trigger on at any point of time as well. However, there's said to be a factor that could accelerate the process. Writing in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer reports that if there is a significant fan support for CM Punk's return, WWE's current stance on the situation could change, as the company doesn't want fans chanting for him at events only for them not to deliver. In regards to any rumours that the former AEW World Champion is currently set to return to the promotion, however, Meltzer claims the company has denied them all. As we spoke about earlier today, unlike the situation prior to Cody Rhodes' WWE return back at WrestleMania 38, WWE creative figures and others who would know in advance have heard nothing regarding Punk, and that decision to be greenlight his return is ultimately down to Vince McMahon, Paul Triple H Levesque, and Nick Khan. CM Punk, meanwhile, hasn't competed since defending his real AEW World Championship against Samoa Joe at AEW All In London at Wembley Stadium. Of course, a backstage altercation at that same event led to Punk being terminated with cause from AEW less than a week later, and rumours of a potential return to WWE almost a decade on from his 2014 departure have swirled ever since. Punk himself has even added fuel to that fire during his commentary appearances at Cage Fury Fighting Championship this past weekend at CFFC 127. Punk, alongside commentary partner John Morgan and the promotion CEO Rob Haydack, made light of the rumours of a potential return to WWE, or the soon-to-be TNA, and a pocket square featuring the WWE Championship could even be seen in Haydack's suit jacket. Now, Punk himself has been, again, rather active on social media today. Let's get into some of his cryptic posts. If he's trolling, if he's hinting at something, I'll let you decide about that. The first one was this. Now, as always, CM Punk is very active on his Instagram stories. Now, it was a picture of CM Punk being bloody, but it's really the caption from the actual post that it's referencing which is quite interesting. Now, the picture itself is the aftermath of MJF's attack on CM Punk back in 2022 during their feud, which culminated at AEW Revolution in a dog collar match. The actual incident in question took place on an episode of AEW Dynamite from Daly's Place. Now, again, it's the caption of the picture from 2022 that's got a lot of people talking. If you actually click on Punk's image there on his Instagram story, you get taken to the original post, which, as I mentioned, was from 2022. And if you zoom right in, you can obviously see that it's from the account in question at Daly's Place, a photographer, but it says there, quote, "Meet the devil himself." Now, there has been growing speculation that possibly, although it being very unlikely, CM Punk could be the man behind the mask of the devil on AEW programming. Obviously, there were hints this past week on AEW Dynamite when it comes to real glass being used in the attack on the Acclaimed. Talks that the Young Bucks were like children, something that CM Punk has referenced in the past, and made a myriad of other maybe hints that people have looked quite into. What do you think of this hint? Is this a case of CM Punk trolling people and making sure his name is kept out there, as lots of people are currently talking about him at the moment? Now, the other one, which got a lot of people talking, this regards WWE. We spoke about this previously. We can talk about it again here. Grayson Waller, known for breaking the proverbial fourth wall when it comes to his social media posts and certainly provoking lots of people on social media, posted an Instagram post of him on commentary saying, quote, "Even on commentary, nobody can touch me." of course, a line from CM Punk's infamous 2011 pipe bomb on WWE programming, many looking at it as his breakout WWE moment in the summer of Punk in 2011. Now, obviously, Grayson Waller's doing this because lots of people are talking about CM Punk, and certainly it gets people's attention, but it actually got the attention of the former WWE champion himself, as CM Punk commented on the post in question with an emoji, once again getting people talking. So once again, that's an AEW hint, and that's a WWE hint. What do you think about this? Is this Punk just being Punk and trolling people and getting the internet wrapped around his finger, or is there more to this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Now, NXT this week was announced to be headed to the CW network in October of 2024. And according to Nick Hausman, WWE are very happy with the deal, so happy that they believe they're going to start regularly outdrawing AEW Dynamite. Now, last month, WWE NXT and AEW Dynamite went head-to-head in a rare Tuesday night battle that saw both brands pulling out all the stops. AEW did what they do best and stuck to presenting high-caliber in-ring action and minimal talking segments in hope of distinguishing themselves from their competition. WWE NXT also delivered on in-ring action, but also called upon several huge names to help buoy the product and draw eyeballs. In the end, having John Cena, The Undertaker, Paul Heyman, Asuka, LA Knight, and others, including Cody Rhodes on the show, won the day as they outdrew AEW in overall viewership by around 300,000 viewers and 50,000 viewers in the key 18 to 49 demographic. Now, House of Wrestling are reporting that they have been told by a WWE source that internally the belief is that NXT viewership will consistently outdraw AEW Dynamite next year, especially when they move to the CW network. The belief is based on the idea that the CW is a, quote, younger broadcast TV channel, end quote, instead of an, quote, aging cable channel, end quote, and will help attract a younger, more influential audience. This is on top of the constantly high-quality content they are putting out, and Levesque's renewed push to integrate NXT with the other WWE major brands. It was also relayed to Nick Hausman that generally there appears to be the belief that AEW's product is cold, even with all the big-name stars they have brought in from WWE, like Bryan Danielson and Adam Copeland. It was pointed out that AEW live event ticket sales have dwindled over the last few years. While they were able to sell more than 80,000 tickets for their big AEW All-In show in the UK, they have not shown consistent sales for the rest of their shows domestically. Regarding WWE NXT hitting the road, it does not sound like anything starting imminently. There is major interest across the board within WWE to make NXT feel, quote, bigger, but not at the expense of overexposing the brand. As it stands, NXT is presenting very good shows that are growing their audience, but WWE wants to make sure not to leap into taking the show on the road before demand is strong enough to do so. Fiscally, it just makes more sense to keep doing what they are doing. So, what are your thoughts about this prediction and belief within WWE? Do you believe that once NXT heads to the CW network in the fall of 2024, they'll regularly start outdrawing AEW Dynamite? We have seen recently a couple of occasions where, granted, they're on different nights, but total viewership of NXT on the USA Network has superseded and succeeded AEW Dynamite's on TBS on Wednesday. Do you think this will become a regular occurrence, and do you think this will become a weekly occurrence once NXT moves to the CW? Let me know your thoughts about that prediction. Now, Vince McMahon, he's also had a busy week selling a lot of stock, and he's done a rare interview as well. Last year, Vince McMahon announced his retirement from WWE in the wake of various sexual misconduct and hush money allegations emerging against him. His absence lasted a mere 6 months, however, as he forced his way back onto the company's board of directors in the past January and went on to play a key role in Endeavor's acquisition of WWE throughout this year. Now, McMahon holds a significant role in TKO Group Holdings, the organization founded from the merger of WWE and Endeavor's UFC, as its executive chairman. The allegations also led to McMahon being issued a grand jury subpoena as part of a federal investigation into the sexual misconduct claims. When questioned about the allegations earlier this year, McMahon claimed to have, quote, owned up to all of the personal and professional mistakes he's made in his career, and also stated the allegations had nothing to do with WWE's subsequent acquisition. McMahon recently spoke to Fox News Digital about the 3,000 plus square foot American flag that now is flying atop of WWE's new headquarters in honor of Veterans Day. The 78-year-old spoke at length about the importance of the flag being one of the largest in the country, what it represents, and urged Americans to focus on those who have served or fought for their country year-round rather than just this specific time of year. The most interesting part of the interview, however, was completely unrelated to the flag or Veterans Day whatsoever. The outlet noted that they also asked McMahon for comments on the sexual misconduct allegations, as well as the federal investigation he is subject to concerning the allegations. However, he refused to give any comment on the matter. Of course, earlier this week, Vince McMahon was listed as an official risk factor to the business of TKO Group Holdings. In an SEC filing issued on Tuesday, the executive chairman's membership of the entity's board of directors was noted as a potential risk due to the, quote, potential change in perceptions of our business partners, end quote, due to the investigation into McMahon, and went on to add that he could also bring, quote, negative publicity and or have other adverse financial and operational impacts on our business, end quote. So, again, we don't really know a ton more details about the investigations or things in there, but there have been hints about it. So where do you think this one is going? Do you think there's going to be more to this? Do you think that this investigation and obviously the search warrant that was issued upon his property earlier this year, do you think that's all related to Vince McMahon's desire and now officially selling 30% of his shares in TKO Group Holdings? Is it McMahon making sure he's got more money to fight any legal issues that he has, or is it just the beginning of the end with Vince McMahon, who's had some health issues recently, undergoing major spinal surgery earlier this year? Let me know your thoughts about that. Now, Mariah May is All Elite. She made her debut on AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, and we've got some more details when it comes to the plans for her in All Elite Wrestling. AEW's latest signing was officially revealed on this week's episode of Dynamite when Mariah May appeared in a backstage segment with RJ City. In the segment, May spoke to RJ about Storm, with RJ noting that he would introduce May to Toni Storm on next week's show. The story between Storm and May is set to get underway following May's signing, and we now know the direction the company may be taking the character. Per the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the story between the two is set to be based on All About Eve, which many had speculated about. Dave Meltzer noted, quote, "The story they are doing with May and Storm is based on All About Eve, which some figured out immediately. The Luther character is based on Max from Sunset Boulevard, and Storm is based on Gloria Swanson, but also Betty Davis." Now, All About Eve is a 1950s movie that won 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. It's considered one of the greatest movies of all time. The story is about a Broadway star who turns 40 and worried about her career, played by Davis, and is essentially the Storm character. And Eve is the fangirl of Margot Channing, Davis's character. Eve, May, becomes a big part of Channing's life as a fangirl who starts manipulating things until she basically becomes the new young star to push her out. Of course, Toni Storm is set to challenge Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship at Full Gear next weekend. So that's the direction we're heading in. Looks like we're going to be getting more of Toni Storm and Mariah May, possibly an alliance and eventually a turn later on in time. Do you like the sound of that? Do you like the long-term story that's seemingly planned out with that? Let me know your feelings on that one. Finally, there's been so much discussion, hasn't there, about Julia recently and her contract status with Stardom, Bushiroad, WWE, AEW, and other promotions as well. Now, an update has emerged on current New Japan Strong Women's Champion Julia potentially signing with WWE following recent speculation about her next move. Following a recent report that WWE has an interest in signing Julia and she was expected to be at the Performance Center sometime this month, another report stated that Julia is under contract with Stardom through March of 2024 and her being at the PC likely wouldn't even be possible legally. Now, Dave Meltzer shared a new update on the situation in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, noting that WWE is looking for someone who can make a difference in its women's divisions. Reporting that WWE has actually made an offer to Julia, Meltzer writes, quote, "We do know that Julia is under contract to Bushiroad through March, which is when most of the contracts with Bushiroad end. She would theoretically have multiple options in Japan and the US, including Bushiroad, AEW, WWE, or somebody else in Japan. She had made verbal commitments in Japan as well past the date of her contract expiring, but we are told WWE made her an offer and she has not decided what to do. We don't know the nature of the offer from WWE. She earns more in Japan than the woman in NXT, although they can afford an NXT deal if they wanted to that could beat her Japan earnings. If this is a main roster offer, that is well above what she would be making in Japan. Now, Julia won the New Japan Strong Women's Championship from inaugural title holder Willow Nightingale in July. Previous reports noted that the original plan was for Mercedes Moné to defeat Willow Nightingale to become the first champion at New Japan Resurgence in May. However, an audible was called for Willow to win after Moné suffered a broken ankle during the match. This has naturally led to speculation that Moné will target Julia after returning from the injury, but as of right now, we don't have any confirmation on that. So, where do you think Julia is going to land upon the expiration of her contract next year? Do you think she's going to go to WWE, AEW, stay in Japan? Where do you think this one is going to end? But there you go, guys. This latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.